Welcome to our sports talk at the stadium here at Louisville, where Clemson has picked up a big win over a feisty Louisville team. They had to scratch and claw for this victory, but the Tigers leave town with the win. They're 3-0, 1-0 in the ACC, and a quarter of the way through the season, the Tigers are still unscathed. And tonight was a huge night for them for a couple of reasons. One, everybody knew they were going to clobber a couple of early opponents in Wofford and Appalachian State. They weren't going to offer much in the way of resistance. This was the first true test. And I know people are going to talk about Louisville. They're now 0-3. They haven't won a game this season, but this is still a pretty decent, if not solid Louisville squad. They're going to win some games. I think this will be a bowl team by the end of the year. And it's a Thursday night, short turnaround. A Louisville team that had its back against the wall, and they played hard. They fought to the end. This is a team that really threw everything at Clemson to win this game, and the Tigers found a way to win, and they did it with their defense. And to me, my biggest takeaway from this game is I did not expect Clemson's defense to still be this dominant after losing all of the guys that they lost last year. I mean, 7 guys on that defense last year are playing in the NFL right now. Now they have a few more on this unit that I think are going to end up in the NFL too, but surely there's going to be a drop-off on a defense that loses that much talent. Stephon Anthony and Vic Beasley. I mean, so many really good players. Grady Jarrett, guys that are collecting paychecks. All those guys made tackles last week in the NFL on Sunday in their debuts. So that being said, this defense, the new front seven by all intents and purposes, completely dominated this Louisville offense. Louisville had 19 yards rushing, averaged less than a yard per carry rushing. They only converted two out of 14 third downs. They were sacked 5 times by Clemson. Shaq Lawson with a pair of those sacks. And at the end of the game, when Louisville was trying to tie it up or take the lead, it was a defense that made the stops. Dodd had the last sack that, go figure, Bobby Petrino didn't manage to clock at probably the most optimum way, and Clemson gets out of here with a 3-point win. So if the defense can play like that up front and dominate the line of scrimmage like that, Clemson is going to be very, very tough. And this is their toughest road game of the season in terms of ACC play. This is it. And they pulled out a win on the short week, and now they get a lot of time to prepare for Notre Dame, who, as we all know, is kind of licking its wounds now. They play Georgia Tech. Notre Dame's going to play 2 games before Clemson plays again. And as great as Clemson's defense was last year, and I still will say this, Clemson's defense last year, I think when it's all said and done, is going to be a better unit than this unit. I don't think this unit's going to finish number 1 in the country. But Clemson's offense this year is much more balanced now that Watson, and he's made it through 3 games. He's still healthy. He's still upright. Wayne Gallman had 139 yards rushing today. He was a machine out there, over 5 yards a carry, almost 6 yards a carry. If you have a defense that plays the way they did tonight, and the offense that is only going to get better, missing a few big pieces. They had a couple series where they didn't even have a couple of their offensive linemen when Gore went down and his backup went down, and the third string guys in there that's a guard that's playing tackle. They were shuffling guys around, and they weren't real crisp and sharp on offense, and not real surprising when you have a short week to prepare and you're on the road in a hostile environment. So I wasn't really surprised to see the offense scuff a little bit, but they moved the ball when they had to. They made the plays when they had to, and they found a way to get the job done. But this offense has a chance to be really, really good by the end of the season, that defense can continue to grow. This Clemson team could be a more balanced team and a better overall team than they were a year ago. Because let's face it, last year Clemson won some games just because of that defense. They went up to Boston College and won a game because of their defense. Syracuse at Clemson, the game against Louisville last year when they lost Watson, they had to hold on for dear life. The defense made the stops. The defense made the plays to win those games. This year they have an offense that's a little more deadly in terms of playmakers and playmaking ability. And Dabo Swinney said it. I know he's no stranger to hyperbole, but he said they have a chance to be special in November. And I don't disagree with him. And this is my first look at Clemson in person this season. I wasn't at the App State or Wofford games, watched those games, but on television. But my first chance to put my eyeballs on them, and Yeah, I'm very impressed. Very, very impressed with this team. They still have some tough games. Notre Dame won't be easy, even though they're down to their backup quarterback now and lost their tight end and their running back, and they've had some key injuries. That'll still be tough, but they get them at Death Valley, and they get that extra time. Florida State, always tough. If you're going to win the ACC, you got to go through Florida State. They get them in Death Valley. Georgia Tech, another team, looks very good early in the season. We'll see what they do this week against Notre Dame, but you get them in Death Valley. All their biggest games now in the conference are in Death Valley. So there'll still be some landmines along the way. They have to go to Raleigh to play an NC State team that could be dangerous. Certainly, I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk for Clemson, but I know Dabo Swinney was very happy after the game, and he should have been. His team did what they were supposed to do. They didn't play their best offensively. Deshaun Watson had a pair of interceptions. He wasn't as sharp as he normally is. He missed a few passes that he normally makes. They still found a way to win. And I know there's nobody out there there's not a bad win on the road. And this isn't a bad Louisville team. They have a bad record right now, but they're not a bad team. And at the end of the year, we'll see where they are. I think it'll be said that Louisville is a decent team. I'm not anointing them the second coming. I'm not trying to put too much on this, but I don't think you can just marginalize it and say, well, they're an 0-3 team, big deal. This is a big win. This is a very big win for Clemson. This wasn't going to Wake Forest and winning ugly. This is a little bit different on a Thursday night for the Tigers. So the Tigers get it done here at Papa John's Stadium. I can't believe it. I've been at Papa John's Stadium all day, most of the night, and I haven't had a slice of Papa John's. They didn't give us any Papa John's. They did give us Miller Lite in the press box, so I have a Miller Lite waiting on me when I finish this work. I got to finish my work, and then I'll enjoy the free Miller Lite here at Papa John's Stadium. So that's a nice little perk that they give you. And this series has been very entertaining. This early series between the Tigers and Cardinals, but the Tigers 2-0 against Bobby Petrino, and I know that makes a lot of people in the Palmetto State very, very happy. So that's going to do it. You can listen to the comments from Dabo Swinney, Deshaun Watson, Shaq Lawson, the coordinators, all that on our story. Plenty of audio there. So check out what Dabo had to say. It's good stuff. And we will have plenty of recap on the show the rest of this week and then into next week as Clemson, they kind of get to throw it neutral, recharge the batteries a little bit, and move on and get ready for Notre Dame. Appreciate you checking us out here at Sports Talk at the Stadium from Louisville,